So, you want to buy an NBA basketball team. Most people think that means writing one enormous check and getting a courtside seat for life. That part is true. What they do not realize is the check has gotten so large, so fast, that the sport you are buying into today barely resembles the one from 10 years ago. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what it costs to buy your way into the NBA right now, whether it is smarter to buy an existing team or wait for the league to sell you a brand new one, how the league quietly built a machine that pays you whether your team wins a single game or not, and why two very different owners lost their franchises for two very different reasons. Most people assume buying a sports team is just an expensive hobby, a vanity project for eccentric billionaires willing to lose money for courtside seats. But the actual math tells a completely different story. Today, an NBA franchise is one of the most reliable compounding assets on Earth. In 2025, private equity executive Bill Chisholm bought a controlling stake in the Boston Celtics at a valuation of $6.1 billion. To understand how fast that escalator is moving, consider that this same franchise sold for $360 million in 2002, and just $3 million back in 1965. Now here's the thing most people miss entirely. This growth isn't limited to legendary, big market brands. The average NBA franchise is now worth roughly $5.4 billion, up from just $1.9 billion 5 years ago. Even the Memphis Grizzlies, long considered the league's financial floor, carry a valuation near $3.75 billion. When Tom Dundon agreed to acquire the Portland Trail Blazers at a $4.25 billion valuation, and Mark Walters secured a stake in the Los Angeles Lakers at a historic $10 billion benchmark, they weren't buying basketball games. They were buying access to a highly restricted, rapidly inflating economy. Here is the part that makes those numbers make sense. If existing teams are too expensive or simply not for sale, there is only one other door into this exclusive club: expansion. In March 2026, the NBA Board of Governors voted unanimously to explore adding new franchises in Seattle and Las Vegas. But this is not a discount route. The league expects these new slots to command between $7 billion and $10 billion each. To understand how steep that entry price has become, when the Charlotte Bobcats joined the league in 2004, their expansion fee was just $300 million. The secret to these soaring valuations is a guaranteed safety net. In July 2024, the NBA secured an 11-year national media rights deal worth $76 billion, starting in the 2025 to 2026 season. That contract averages $6.9 billion annually, distributing roughly $230 million straight to each owner every year before a single ticket or jersey is sold. Additional local broadcast fees and sponsorships build on this base, with the Golden State Warriors alone generating nearly $200 million in sponsorship revenue last season. Even as the collapse of regional sports networks threatens local television certainty and trims cap projections, the national deal remains the permanent floor for franchise economics, rather than an extra bonus. But that national media floor is only the baseline. To understand where the real advantage lies, look at the physical real estate. Most fans assume the most valuable asset is the roster on the court, but the building itself can be worth far more. When Steve Ballmer bought the Los Angeles Clippers in 2014 for $2 billion, he immediately set out to control his own stadium, privately financing the Intuit Dome at a cost of $2 billion. Here is the part that makes those numbers make sense. By owning the arena, Ballmer captured year-round revenue streams that never touched the league's player revenue-sharing pool. Intuit signed a 23-year naming rights deal worth $500 million. To put that in perspective, the older Staples Center benchmark was just $100 million, while the Golden State Warriors secured $300 million over 20 years for Chase Center. But naming rights are just the entrance fee. Arena control allows owners to keep every single dollar from premium suites, sponsorships, concerts, and non-NBA events. It turns a basketball team into a permanent, highly lucrative entertainment platform, proving that the building itself can be just as valuable as the roster. Now here's the thing most people miss entirely. All that broadcast and stadium money does not just sit in a vault. It directly dictates what owners can actually spend on their rosters. Under the collective bargaining agreement, players receive 51% of basketball-related income. This exact split is the engine driving the entire salary cap. For the 2025 to 2026 season, the salary cap is set at $154.6 million, with the luxury tax line landing at $187.9 million. Once an owner crosses that line, the financial penalties grow steep, climbing to $3.50 or more for every single dollar over. If a team stays in the tax for 3 out of 4 years, they trigger repeat offender rates, the exact penalty that saddled the Golden State Warriors with historic tax bills. But the ultimate guardrails are the first and second aprons, set at $195.9 million and $207.8 million. Crossing these lines strips away valuable roster-building tools, freezing future draft picks, blocking trade flexibility, and preventing teams from absorbing extra salary. Now here is the thing most people miss entirely. While players receive over half of regular revenues, expansion fees bypass the system altogether. Under league rules, these massive payments sit completely outside of both revenue sharing and basketball-related income. They do not raise the salary cap, and players do not get a single cent. Instead, a projected $7 billion to $10 billion expansion price tag transforms into a direct, UN-taxed windfall of $533 million to $650 million for every single existing owner. It is a pure transfer of wealth, paid out simply for voting to let new teams into the club. Most fans assume that once you buy into this exclusive club, you are untouchable. But massive asset appreciation cannot protect an owner who threatens the collective bottom line. In 1981, Donald Sterling bought the struggling Los Angeles Clippers for $12.5 million. Now here's the thing most people miss entirely. Ownership is a privilege granted by the league, not an absolute right. When private recordings of Sterling's racist remarks leaked in April 2014, the NBA acted instantly. Commissioner Adam Silver issued a lifetime ban, levied a $2.5 million fine, and forced a sale. Within months, Steve Ballmer bought the team for $2 billion. Most fans assume team loyalty secures a franchise's home, but stadium leases hold far more power than fan devotion. In 2006, Howard Schultz sold the Seattle Supersonics to Clay Bennett's Oklahoma City Group for $350 million, under a good faith expectation to keep them local. But when Seattle City officials refused a $500 million arena upgrade, Bennett moved the franchise to Oklahoma City in 2008. A $75 million lease settlement finalized the relocation, leaving Seattle without NBA basketball for 18 years. Here's the part that makes those numbers make sense. An arena lease matters more to an owner's bottom line than any winning record. Most investors assume buying a small market team like the Grizzlies for $4 billion is a cash flow play. But with annual revenues of $400 million, operating margins yield only tens of millions after payroll. The real return is pure asset appreciation. Now here is the thing most people miss entirely. Expansion is the superior play. Paying up to $10 billion for a new franchise in Seattle or Las Vegas secures an immediate top 15 valuation, zero legacy debt, and a fresh, high-leverage arena deal. Ultimately, the choice is not about basketball. It is about buying a permanent seat at a table where the house gets paid first. Today, the real game isn't won on court, but in the boardroom. As valuations soar past $5 billion, the NBA operates as an elite, closed financial fortress. Here, wins are optional because the house always gets paid first. Share your thoughts below.